saying that, the Prophet says, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, la tujbiruhunna ala zawaj. You men, do not force these women to get married. So number one, we understand from that hadith that he told the fathers, the awliya, the wali, don't force the girl to get married. And number two, and we have to explain that because there may be some people listening to us, watching us right now, dispatchers and so forth and so on, who want to take our religion out of context and what we say out of context. Does Islam tell the man or the Muslim woman, the wife, she has to clean the wound of her husband by sucking it, by licking it clean? If he gets a nosebleed, he is playing football and the ball hits him in the nose and he comes home holding his nose and he has a tissue with blood on it and he says, honey, look what happened. And then she takes and removes the tissue and she starts to suck and clean the blood out of his nose by swallowing it. Hashalillah. No one says something like that except someone who was jahil or Allah just didn't guide him to his aql. The Prophet gave that example, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just to simply show the tremendous rights that the husband has over the woman. The tremendous rights. The lady came to complain, Ya Rasulullah, my husband did this, he does this, he doesn't do this. Blah, blah, blah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to that lady, before you tell me any more, look at your condition and your relationship to your husband. فَإِنَّهُ جَنَّتَكَ جَنَّتَكِ وَنَارَكِ. Look at your condition, ya lady, your wife. Look at your situation with your husband, because your husband is your Jannah or your Nar. Allah will not accept the ibadah of the lady until she first gives her haqq to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's slave, meaning her husband. So these are some of the proofs, brothers and sisters, that go to show that the father is not allowed to compel the girl. But as I mentioned before, we do acknowledge the rights of the parents. So when the parents say we want compatibility, so if she marries someone who is from the tribe, the boy is Darood and the girl is Darood. The boy is from Kashmir and the girl is from Kashmir. They're both from Peshawar. Then there's no problem. They're both reverts. They're going to have more in common, usually. But that's not always the case. It's not always the case. The Prophet ﷺ was approached by Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr wanted to marry Fatima. He said no. And then Umar came to marry Fatima. The Rasul said no. He said she is young. And then the Prophet married Fatima ﷺ to Ali ibn Abi Talib, someone who was closer to her in age, someone who was closer to her in the disposition. And as a result of that, we say the parents are not necessarily wrong when they want their children to marry their cousins and so forth and so on, because the parent knows his mother, knows his sisters, knows his brothers, and knows the tarbiyah that was given to those children. But the problem is when the cousin of your daughter and the cousin of your son, they have no deen, they have absolutely no deen. They drink khamr, they don't pray, they don't wear hijab, they make shirk with Allah Azza wa Jal, they don't have al-akhlaq. And then you're going to insist that your daughter or your son marry them because this is just what's expected? Nah, this is not acceptable and this is not what's correct. إِذَا جَاءَكُم مَن تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقُهُ فَزَوِّجُوهُ وَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا سَتَكُونُ فِي الْأَرْضِ فِتْنَةٌ عَرِيضَةٌ. If someone comes to you and you're pleased with his deen and his character, then marry him off to that person who he wants from your relatives. If you refuse to do so, there's going to be a lot of fitna in the earth, widespread fitna, and you, father, wali, and you, mother, both of you will have something to do with that, and you'll be held accountable for that Yawm al-Qiyamah. So we have to be in the balance and in the middle as it relates to this issue. It's not permissible to compel a girl to marry someone that she doesn't want to marry. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us good wives and good children, and may make it easy for us to follow the kitab and the sunnah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.